So you can see on this bit here how he's just a bit tight to bend in the middle, so he should be able to bring his head round and his inside hind go forward and back, and it should be sort of one smooth movement, whereas he kind of can't bend in one smooth movement. So if you get the hind legs, then the head and neck go out. So you'll see, I don't know if you've ever watched Orange, you see how sort of supple he is through his back, and so you see there his hind leg comes back rather than going forward. So he just doesn't, the two ends of him don't complete it in one smooth movement. So I will do this groundwork with him every day as well, and that will help him. So here I'm just doing the same thing, just encouraging him to just give in the middle, to be able to just make smooth turns, and so really stretching the outside of his body, riding his inside hind under him. So my inside leg is asking his inside hind to cross over, and just to get him more supple. And then where I was doing the rein back and step across on the ground, just that cut me off there, so rude. So I'm just the groundwork steps that I was doing to get him to just step back and across, back and across. It's just introducing that to him, ridden as well. That's it, so that he can eventually should be able to just easily perform that. It all just adds to sort of everything really. Suppleness. The rein back's really good for his suppleness, and also just getting to know those ground patterns so that he recognises them, and it and he can sort of start all his work with them. They just end up useful for lots of different things. Adding in a little bit of leg yielding, again just for a little bit of suppleness, a little bit of getting the hind inside hind under him, and just giving him a sort of walk round everywhere, but also just kind of assessing how he feels on both sides. Hence where I would sort of put in the leg yielding, it would be if I just felt he wasn't quite supple on one side, or was sort of leaning into that side. And little circles, again, if I just felt like he needs to work out for himself, being a little more supple and carrying himself a little bit better on that side. Apart from that, giving him a little kind of look around the school and just encouraging him just to step forward into still contact. So here is when I first started to do transitions with him, and what I felt was him just not pushing through into my contact as I made the transition. So he wanted to very much do it from the front, and therefore I would sort of lose the roundness, lose the contact, because he's just not pushing forward into the transition. So therefore I sort of tried a few different things with him. See there, I did a small circle, made the transition off the circle. I think here's where I'm kind of riding him in trot, trying to encourage him to really go forwards, so that then when I come back to doing the transitions again, I've got him going really forward from behind. But this is where I first had that feeling of him just not pushing enough through into my contact. So as soon as I try to change anything, so upward or downward transitions, I would lose him. This is where I decide that I've got to get more activity from behind into those transitions. So I will do something like a turn around the forehand, or turn around the haunches, to just get that hind underneath him prior to the transition. And you see the difference in his transitions there is 100% better. It's just something I like to use a lot, because I'm about to speak. Push a lot more into his transitions. It's all here, so he needs to push into it. So what I'm going to work on today is turning him around the forehand, any turn, pirouette, anything, get him sitting behind and then pushing into his transition. And the same when he lands, from trot to walk, exactly the same. I want him to sit, so I will to stop and say so in a minute, but you can see when I do the downward transitions, I'm there literally not worrying at the moment about what his head's doing. I'm actually lifting him right up into them, and that's because I want him to sit into the transition and come off his shoulder. It doesn't matter at all that at the moment he's bringing his head up to do that, because once he actually gets more physically capable of sitting into those transitions, I would just lighten my hand, his head would come back down. It would be so much lighter in front. So it doesn't matter at all at the moment that the head comes right up. What matters is what his body's doing, because the head can be easily sorted later. So just to explain what I'm doing there, you can see I'm sort of bringing the shoulder up, asking him to sit like a seesaw, with the weight going onto the back of it. And you can actually see then in his work there how much he's lightened on his forehand and becoming more expressive in front actually. As a result of the turns around the haunches into canter and just lifting my hands, getting him to lighten his shoulder into the downward transitions, you can see how now he's able to make those transitions up and down in a much better way. So it's not kind of trying to go through my hands, or might seem a bit ridiculous that I'm bringing his head up when I'm trying to make him more consistent in the contact, but I'm only trying to make him more consistent in the contact by his body doing that properly. And like I say, the fact that I'm bringing his head up into those downward transitions, I'm really exaggerating it to get him really to sit. And what you'll find once he's been doing this for probably only for a few days really, is that you would just then be able to get really light downward transitions. So whereas he's been struggling to sit on his back end and just sit into those downward transitions, he would kind of come against your hand. He will really sit, and you'll just be able to just gently lift your hand, and he'll really kind of sit up. But you can see how here he's already making those transitions a lot easier now. So then I want to sort of do lots of them to build up his strength. But he needed to be sort of doing them a lot better before it's worth me keep repeating them, because if you just repeat the same thing badly, obviously you're not necessarily achieving what you want to. Keep doing the same thing badly, you're just going to get better at doing it badly. So he's getting a lot better now at those transitions, a lot more capable.